Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Oh, come on. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you. My name is Michael Keuka. That reminds me, I have been up here in this area before. It's absolutely beautiful, and I love it. And I used to run a theater, Bristol Valley Theater in this is Western New York, in Naples, and I lived and worked there for several years, and I absolutely loved it. And there's this market, you know, this roadside, wayside market in town, and they've known me for years and years and years, and I bought so much stuff, you know, maple syrup and plants and all these different things, and I would buy out the place, and I said, pretty soon you're going to have to, you know, create an entire wing named after me, and they said, as soon as we can pronounce your name, we will. So my last name is Keuka, so it's Italian. So I'm very, very happy to be here today, and it's going to be a lot less lecture and more interactive experience, okay? I understand that many of you are hardworking, soon-to-be leaders, or if you're not already leaders in your field, and so this is really a very practical workshop to really enhance whatever field you're in a public speaking sense. So I just sort of need you to sort of jump in with both feet and have an open mind. Can we do that? Okay, good. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my jacket off. I wanted to tell you a little bit about my background. I actually started out as a theater actor, and I thought that was the end of what I was going to be doing, was going to be an actor for the rest of my life. And then I learned about the director in the room, and I thought, oh, that's really interesting. And then I became an actor and a director, and then I was a stage manager as well. So I was an actor, director, and a stage manager. And then simultaneously, I had this journalism career. So I was this actor, director, stage manager, journalist, and none of that made sense, but I had these two careers happening. And at one point, I actually was managing editor of a magazine, and then I got hired to be in an off-Broadway show in New York City. So I come from Brooklyn, so I just want you to know that. And so I was running the magazine, and, you know, as a managing editor, and then running off to do, you know, 8 shows a week. And so I thought, what career? what is this all about? What could this career end up being? And then up here in Naples, I actually had the opportunity. It was one of many theaters that I was working at during the course. So, you know, a director travels all over the country and directs shows, and you don't stay. The show opens and then you go home or you go on to the next job. A lot of people think the directors are there during the run of the show. We're not there. So it opens and then you go, and then the stage manager keeps the show going. So I loved Naples, and I was so excited 5 years into my coming up to Naples. The artistic director at the time was stepping down, and the managing director said, you need to apply for this job. And so I had the great pleasure of living and working up here for 5 years, and it has been, I just love coming up to this region. And when I tried to explain, and that, by the way, that was the job that made the dual career in theater and journalism and everything just make sense. So it sort of all coalesced and came together. And then I was at this point in my life, and then I continued on and learned all these other things. So I'm really trying to take all of my experience and infuse it into this little time that we're having together, and maybe kind of motivate you and give you some tips to get past some of your fears. But I know that I've seen this be immediately applied into whatever field you do out in the world, okay? So I promise you that. So I came up here, and it is absolutely beautiful. And I tried to, you know, back in New York City, I explained, you know, where we are, and, you know, in Western New York, and how beautiful the area is. And they're like, oh yeah, we know. The foliage is beautiful there. And so I was so excited to come back in October because the foliage is so beautiful here. And I actually, you know, grew up. My parents were born and raised in Brooklyn, so sometimes when I talk like this, it's really how they talked when they were growing, you know, in my family, and it took me years and years and years to lose this accent. And then, of course, you know what happens when you get hired to be an actor? you're asked to speak that way. So I love that part of my life as well. I loved having this split personality, So I was a theater professional, a journalist, and most recently, I started teaching, and it's been an absolutely rewarding experience. I'm an adjunct lecturer at Brooklyn College in Brooklyn, in my borough, and it's so great to be able to to be home and live and work with young people. And what I do is I actually teach a class called Performing Arts Techniques for the classroom teacher. So I teach a class of education students who are going to become teachers. And God bless Brooklyn College for making this class a required course, because performing, using theater techniques in a New York City public school system. So you really need to be a really good actor. You need to be able to command the room. These people are going to go out into the world, and you need to really command attention and grab that room. And I thought, well, that would be a great thing. That would be a great experience for me. So in addition to doing all of those other jobs, I'm now a teacher. I did teach at NYU for 2 years in musical theater performance, and that was an extension of my directing life. But this has been really, really a great experience to be teaching on the college level. And I have really found that my students, they get very much into the class, and they're very fearful at first, of course, because it's a theater class, and they're required to be there, so they're very, resistant. And then during the course of the semester, within a couple of weeks, they're just so bought into the whole notion. And they come up to me after class and they're like, "Professor, I figured it out." And I'm like, "What did you figure out?" "Yours is not a theater class." And I said, "Oh, it's not?" They're like, "No, it's a life experience class. It is, you are teaching us all the stuff that we need to know to apply to whatever we do in life. So yours is really like, a life training class." And I was like, yeah, of course. So they are that generation is fully entrenched in the electronic age. So the reason why we need to kind of come back and start to revisit these skills a little bit is that we are 100%, this generation they have had no experience, speaking in groups. We are raising a generation of people who have extraordinary eye-hand coordination and no verbal communication skills. I mean, it just is. It's just the way it is, So I can see the immediacy, and they're going to be teachers. So we really need to infuse this kind of, immediacy. So what I want to say, first of all, is everything that we are going to do here is pertinent to whatever field you're going into. Number one. Number two, I found out that most of you don't know each other, or you may or may not necessarily know the people who are sitting at your tables, right? Okay, so that's good. So in doing so, this is not a problem. We're going to enter the land of no judgment. That's my term, my technical term, right? So we can't judge, we're in the creative process here. So it's okay to be in the land of no judgment. Everyone understand that? You can't say that's wrong, that's stupid, blah, 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 blah. And we'll adopt the notion of yes and, which is the universal mantra of the sketch improv world. You know that? The comedy improv world, like in sketch comedy. You enter the philosophy of yes and. And what do you think that means? What's the yes part? Well, that's the yes. So yes, I love your suggestion. I love your idea. And the and is what?
Expand on it.
Yeah, yes, I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to build on it. So I think that no matter what field you're in, if you're involved in the creative process whatsoever, please always remember yes, and. So a huge part of what I believe in using these techniques to open yourself up to the creative process, and therefore you have creative problem solving. building creative solutions. So the premise I apply, yes, and, which is the premise that we learned from the sketch comedy world, is to stay open to the possibilities. Also, in a public speaking sense, you don't really know what's going to happen next. So you want to stay open to yes, and. So yes, I hear you, yes, I see what you're saying, or yes, I understand what your needs are, and I'm going to build on that. So, okay, so we have the land of no judgment. I teach these students at Brooklyn College, and one of the classes is Intro to Theater for high school kids, advanced high school kids. And they're trying to encourage these New York City school kids, to stay in college, and so they take the more advanced kids. So I teach college students and high school students who are taking college. And so I always say this notion of, land of no judgment and less and, yes and when the kids are starting to be like, razzing on each other, dissing them, putting them down. I actually had one kid stand up the other day and they're like, the land of no judgment, okay? And I was so happy, So, land of no judgment, yes, and suspension of disbelief. So we're going to engage in the process of suspension of disbelief. And really all that is, that's what theater is. And you suspend your disbelief. You put your disbelief at the door. So what does that mean when you open up a book and you're reading at nighttime and you're reading to a little one? It usually begins with what? Once upon a time. And that's what suspension of disbelief is. And people say to me, how can you speak in front of a bunch of people, or how can you do a lecture, or how can you be an actor, and perform in front of 2,000 people? And the absolute truth is, the honest truth, is that I would rather talk in front of a group of 100 to 1,000 to 2,000 people who I've never met before than go to a party of 10 people who I've never met before and stick my hand out and say, hi, my name is Michael. And that is absolutely true. Because like most actors, I'm really very shy in life, and people say, well, that's impossible. You're an actor. Just act. When you get to the party, just act. And that's not what acting is. What acting is suspension of disbelief. Fully investing yourself in the truth of who you are and believing who you are, and believing that voice. So if it's a play, a playwright gave you a voice, or if you're film or television, and you're investing yourself 1,000% in that process. And we know this is true because we're obsessed with watching TMZ and watching these actors become train wrecks in life, because they know how to be really fantastic actors. They know how to invest themselves in the truth of the characters they play. They just have a difficult time in the rest of their life, right? So most of us are the opposite. We would much rather, be at a party, and truthfully, I've been at so many events up here, in my job, and I'd be scared to death at those events. I would be so shy, and they were like, you just talked to hundreds and hundreds of people, and it's like, oh, it's so different for me. So I'm just trying to taking the inverse of the process and giving you the skills to address and be comfortable in front of a group of people. And I came up with these 10 tips, which I thought you might find helpful. And we'll go through them during the course of today. So they're pretty easy and straightforward. And I'm actually really happy that I pulled a couple of quotes from a book called Public Speaking, the best little book about public speaking tips you'll ever own. So a couple of those quotes are from a friend of mine named Michael Schaefer, who wrote a book on public speaking, and I was the editor of the book. So I thought you can also take a look at the book and find it on Amazon if you want. But I'm not here to sell books. I always thought I'd help. I loved, when I was editing the book, I loved a lot of what my friend had to say. And so I pulled a couple of those quotes, but the rest of them are from me. So I just want to share this information with you. So as a warm-up, I thought what we would do is go around the room. This is your big opportunity. Yes, we will be getting up today. You understand that, okay? You'll be getting up and you'll be speaking today. So, don't worry about that. It'll work out. And we're going to be performing today too. But don't worry about that either. And I promise you, the idea is that we're just going to blast you out of your comfort zone so that what we do here is going to be a little bit like, if anyone is a distance runner or runner, you are. Yes, you are. So like in training, you train a longer distance than the actual, you go a longer distance than the actual run. You don't?
Up to a point.
Up to a point?
Yeah.
So like if you're...
A marathon, you wouldn't run 30 miles because you're going to do a marathon.
You max out. But it's like if you're a competitive runner, I guess sprinters, I guess they go when they run.
Yeah.
They could go a little bit further than so that the competition or the event itself is not as hard. So we're just going to push you a little bit out of your comfort zone, and then that's never going to be asked of you again. You know what I mean? So, but first of all, we just need to get to know each other. So what I want to do is just go around the room, and you're going to say your first name. You're going to stand up. You can stand up at your spots, okay? Just say your first name, where you're from, and then one thing about yourself. It can't be nothing deep, dark, personal, no secrets, whatever. That's it. Just one line. And I'll start, okay? So I just want you to know that my name is Michael. This is easy. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Whatever. And I was born on Friday the 13th, and therefore 13 is my lucky number. Okay? Easy. So we'll start over here since you spoke already. Stand up, say your first name, where you're from, and one thing about yourself that's not deep, dark, and personal.
Okay, I'm Ed. I work at Keuka College. I'm the program director of social work. My dad went to Brooklyn College.
All right.
I grew up in Rockaway. Since I've come up here 3 years ago, I was a distance runner. We said that. So it's so beautiful up here, as you said, and I love to bike. And I could not swim, but I wanted to do triathlons. So I forced myself to get in the water with a wetsuit and kind of dog paddle through triathlons, which does get you out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So I bring it up because I can't swim.
Well, let's give him a round of applause, first of all, for being so verbal. I appreciate that. That was great. And you can keep it. You want to stand up? Say hello. My name is.
Hi, my name is Mary. I am from New Hartford, New York. That's near Utica. And one thing about me is I have 2 sons.
And their names are?
Micah and Milo.
Great names. Thank you. Sir?
My name is Rodney. I'm from Geneva, New York, right up the road. One thing about me is I have 2 daughters, and one is a freshman at NC State.
Proud dad. Do you see this shirt? NC State dad. Great. Rodney, right? You're around for him. Next.
I'm Elsie. I'm from Lawman, New York, and I have 3 jobs.
Oh, stand up, Elsie. Elaborate. I have 5, so I love people who are multitaskers.
I work for Community Bank as a floating teller. I'm part-time at Aldi's in Sarah, Pennsylvania, and seasonally I do taxes in Sarah as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yes. Next.
I'm Katie. I'm from Corning, New York, and I work full-time and volunteer full-time, and I have 2 of my own businesses as well.
What are your businesses?
I shampoo carpets and do jewelry parties.
But not at the same time. That would be a major business if you combine it. And tell me your first name again?
Katie.
Katie. Give Katie a round of applause. Thank you. Yes? So far, so good, right? We're not panicked. We're doing fine. Go ahead.
My name is Chris. I'm from the Binghamton area. I own and operate my own house painting business during the day, and I work for a local detox rehab at night on the weekends, 3rd shift, full-time student.
Fantastic. And where are you from, Chris, originally?
Binghamton.
Excellent. Give her a round of applause. You people. This is like a room full of overachievers. I'm so proud. Okay. If someone says, hi, I'm a couch potato, I would love that. But yeah, next.
Hi, my name is Scott. I'm from Baldwinsville.
Where's that?
Outside of Syracuse.
Syracuse.
I work as a police dispatcher, and within a year I've had weight loss surgery and lost over 150 pounds.
Yay! Congratulations. It's fantastic. Joseph.
Hi, my name is Joe. I'm from Gorham, New York. I work security here at the campus, and I like to write.
You do? Creative writing, or? Yeah. Oh, great. Thank you, Joseph. Joe.
Morning, my name is Justin. I'm originally from Binghamton. I live and work in Trumansburg, New York, and I work in the drug and alcohol industry as well.
Industry?
Well,
What do you mean?
I shouldn't say that. I work.
You don't want to say that.
No. I work in like an agency.
Otherwise, it's a Breaking Bad situation. I have a story about that too.
Drug and alcohol rehabilitation.
That is fantastic. Justin, right? Next.
I'm Kristen. I'm a nurse right here in Penn Yan. I've lived here all my life pretty much. And pretty much all of these folks I went to high school with.
You did? Can you pick one person and just tell some
Dark secret?
Yeah, something that one of those people did that.
Oh, goodness. I would have to go with Jessica.
I was thinking Jessica.
Jessica, definitely. We attended maybe a couple parties together. Just a couple.
Just a couple. All right, that's good to know. Let's give her a round of applause. Yes. Justin would have not enjoyed.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Still in there.
Got it.
Well, good morning. I'm Kansas, and I'm from Corning, New York. I work at Corning Credit Union. Yes, that's my real name.
Kansas from Corning. I love it. Yes,
Yes.
that's a great name.
It's like the state.
Dakota. That's a very popular name. So that's fantastic.
So I'm a mom, and I'm also a long distance runner. And after my first horrible half marathon event last year, I just took 16 minutes off my time in this year's Wine Glass Half. So,
Fantastic. I think I'm the couch potato in the room. I just want to say that. Next, right over here.
Hi, my name's Bernadette Medvey. I'm from Syracuse, New York. I'm a nursing student. And one thing about me is I just bought my brand new car yesterday and drove it here today.
What? What car?
I bought a Buick Enclave.
Excellent. I have a Subaru Forester.
And I'll get you a cup of coffee.
A cup of coffee. My Forester, which I bought up here from Van Bortle Subaru, just passed 200,000 miles. I feel like I'm like a Subaru salesman. I love that car. Yes.
My name is Mary. I'm from Albion, New York, and I am absolutely terrified of talking in front of people.
Yeah, I understand that. That was good. Thank you for your honesty. Believe me, I get it. Yes, next.
I thought he was going to go that way.
I'm gonna ping pong.
Yeah, okay. My name's Janice. I guess I'm an overachiever wannabe. I have lots of ideas, but hard time implementing them all. So the latest thing I've tried is gardening, and my husband and I designed a really nice garden for our backyard this year.
Well, then you're making it happen. So you're more than a wannabe. Give Janice a round of applause. Yes.
Hi, I'm Robin. I'm from Syracuse, New York. I've been a nurse for 30 years in oncology and decided to put 3 kids through college and decided it was time to do something for myself.
God bless you, Robin. Yes. Well stated, too. Next.
Hi, I'm Carolyn. I am also from Corning, so it looks like we're winning.
The Southern team, represent.
I guess one thing about me is I do pottery also, in addition to my other stuff.
That's fantastic. So you spin.
Yes, on the wheel.
Oh, that's very nice. Very cool. Very good. Next.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a nurse and a drug counselor from the Binghamton area. I too am originally from Brooklyn.
I can tell. I too am originally from Brooklyn, he just said.
One thing about me,
I made a
the
little
day I was born was the last day the Brooklyn Dodgers played in Emmett's Field.
Oh my God. My parents, do anyone know what he's talking about? So,
The LA Dodgers now.
Yeah, let's give Matthew a round of applause. So the two teams in New York City, were the Yankees and the Mets. But at the time, there was the Brooklyn Dodgers and so we had a baseball stadium. Jay-Z helped build a basketball, brought the Nets, from New Jersey to downtown Brooklyn. But there's been this huge void since what year? Oh, I hate to wait. Since 1957, we actually had a baseball team, a very acclaimed baseball team, and there are people who are, my father having been one of them, who will never forgive the Dodgers for leaving Brooklyn and going to California. And they were really actually kicked out of Brooklyn. That was the thing, because this was a stadium that was right in the middle of the borough, and it was not accessible to different highways.
The owner at that time, Walter O'Malley, he wanted to put a stadium where the Barclays Center is now.
That's right.
The city wouldn't let him.
Right, exactly right.
And the area where Ebbets Field was getting all run down, so he had no choice.
Hey, watch what you say about the rundown, because I live, not too far away now. Now it's been gentrified, because that's the big word. So yes.
Where you live, Flatbush?
No, I live in Park Slope. You did?
Yeah.
We'll talk later. We're gonna have coffee with Matthew after. Okay.
Born in the Methodist Hospital.
I live right near Methodist Hospital.
You guys maybe went to school together.
Well, a few years off. You were born in Methodist? He literally, we're talking like just a few blocks away. Oh my God. Next, we'll start with here.
My name is Amy, and I'm from Dansville. And I'm a single mom of 2 kids, and I've worked at a local pizza shop in Dansville since 2001.
Thank you, Amy. It's great.
Hello, everybody. My name is Josh. I'm from Batavia, New York, and I enjoy backpacking.
Backpacking. So, like, do you go like for hikes for
everything on your back, hiking through the mountains.
So,
whatever you can carry.
Troy, who is at the camera right now, climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. So, can we just be like, woohoo, the ultimate backpacking job? He should be your hero. He's my hero. Okay, we're gonna start right here.
My name is Debbie. I live in Medina, New York.
Medina?
Yeah.
I never knew how that was pronounced. Medina.
Yeah. I'm a neighbor of Albion and Batavia. I have worked for the Department of Corrections for 13 years. And in what little spare time I have, my boyfriend and I farm 18 acres as a hobby.
Wow. Oh my God, you people.
As a hobby, yeah.
Yes?
My name is Shelley. I'm from Auburn, and I like to travel. I lived overseas for 1.5 years.
Oh, where?
That was my last semester.
I lived overseas for 1.5 years. I'm just going to sit down. Where? Whoa, come back up. Where'd you live overseas?
In London. Did my last semester in college.
Oh, you lived in London, did you?
I
Did you
did.
have a jolly good time?
I did.
I love that city.
I do too.
My name is Sarah.
It's lovely. They say lovely.
I enjoy shooting pool. I once beat a 9-time 9-ball champion once.
Stand up. Come on. So where did you hone this skill?
My grandparents used to run a bar when I was little, so I used to hang out in the
hang out at the right. You hang out at the boat. What are you gonna do? You're gonna shoot pool,
yeah.
right?
So I've shot pool for about 26 years, and I play the Auburn leagues, and I actually took this year off. This is the first year everybody's mad at me, but last year Johnny Archer came up for like a little meet and greet, and he played some of the people, and I was the only girl to beat him, but I was one of the only people that was there to actually beat him. I will say I got lucky. I did get lucky.
Don't say that. Quit while you're ahead. Have a seat. That was amazing. Don't diminish. Yes. We do that.
My name's Stephanie. I'm from Syracuse, New York. I'm in the nursing program, and nursing's actually my 3rd profession. I, like you, I'm trying to find my niche, I guess.
Well, my niche is this, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have to go one way. I just combine it all. But yes, yeah. And what are the 3?
I started in physical therapy. Well, first I wanted to teach, so because I love to talk and I love to hear myself talk.
Oh, good. Well, we'll use that skill today.
So teaching, but I went into physical therapy. I'm also a massage therapist. I have a business in Syracuse, and now I'm an RN.
Well, then but they're all really good, very good. Like me, they're all related. You know what I mean? Like I really don't have occupational schizophrenia. I don't. I really, all of these things are all offshoots of the same thing. That's really what it is. And every once in a while they converge, and you're like, oh, now I can apply all of these skills. There's 2 other things that I'm going to tell you about myself that I also do. Okay, next.
My name's Stacy. I live in Watertown, but I'm not really from the area. I'm from Colorado. And I have 3 kids, my oldest of which will be graduating from college this year.
Where?
In Denver, Johnson and Wales.
Congratulations, Stacy. So we're here, yeah?
My name's Emily. I'm from Rochester. I manage a 6-office dental practice, which is extremely stressful. And to relieve some of that stress, I play soccer.
So dental practice. So you work in an office where almost everybody who's there doesn't want to be there.
Yes.
That is a
Yeah,
very
they
difficult.
They're like, we don't want to come see you, and I'm like, well, if
It's
we took
so-
it personally, we would hate our jobs every day.
So hard, right? Yeah. Oh, well, give Stacy, right? Emily. I'm sorry. Emily, a round of applause. Sorry. I apologize.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Kim, you can do
I
it.
like this whole talking.
You're fine. You're fine.
I'm Kim. I am someone that at the age of 45, after preaching to my daughter that she has to go to college, decided the day she looked at me and said, "Why? You didn't," that I needed to. So I got my associate's degree, and then I wanted to be in social work, and then it was too emotional, so I'm back in the law.
Oh, fantastic. And your name is Kim?
I'm Kim.
Well, you are an incredibly brave woman, and please give her a round of applause. And let me tell you something, Kim. I teach at Brooklyn College, and I'm so proud to be there. Like I said, I loved teaching at NYU, but kids fight really hard to get in that school and stay in that school. And they are often the first kids in their family to go to college. And now I actually teach in the very college that my mother, who skipped 2 grades back in the 40s in Brooklyn, she was very smart, but she wasn't allowed to go to college because she had to go to work. So she, at 16 years old, she was commuting into Manhattan, to work. And it makes me so proud that I pull up in front of that college and teach in the very school that she wasn't allowed to go to.
I will say I am a beauty school dropout. That was my first career choice right out of high school, because you got to go to beauty school for half a day and missed school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's even amazing that I'm willing to keep going.
But look where you are now. And number 2, look how verbal she was as soon as she sat down. So it's really just the standing up.
Storm when I'm sitting.
I see that.
I'm not
So
sorry then.
she keeps talking. Our job today is just to make you feel more comfortable when you're standing up. Can we do that? We'll just work a little bit. A little bit. We are going to try really hard. What did Yoda say? There is no try. There is only do and not do. Is that right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna. I live in Marcellus, which is just outside of Syracuse right now, originally from Virginia Beach. I've got 1 boy and 1 child on the way.
Ah, there you are, yeah.
One fun thing about me is right now I work in like a corporate environment. I work for Welch Allen. I used to work for a power company, very corporate. But on the side, and when I lived in Virginia Beach, I'm a clown and costume character. So there you go.
So are you when you're a clown and costume character, you're probably so much more confident as that character, and you can do anything as that character.
Yes. I mean, be totally nuts and crazy and just way out there. And when you're at work, you have to be contained, you have to be reserved, you have to be well buttoned down.
But you're thinking from a whole different perspective,
Yes,
right?
Yeah, you have the different, I don't know, points of view going on, where you think to yourself, well, if I was this character, I'd do this, but you have to. So
I love that you're the last person to speak. We're going to enter that world. That's all we're really doing, is just sort of like being, a suspension of disbelief, just stepping into someone else's shoes and being that, and passionately speaking our truth. So, Anna, give her a round of applause. So, thank you. So we survived that experience, right? So the other thing that I wanted to tell you, 2 things I wanted to tell you that I also do. I don't know, is anybody a fan of anime? Or you know what anime is? Or have kids who are fans of anime? So I've been a voice on several anime series. None of them are on TV. No Saturday morning cartoon. Pokemon is anime. That's anime. It's Japanese animated films, and so they're written in Japan and then they're voiced by American actors. And so I'm a character on 5 different series, and I'm the lead character on something called Genshiken. And so I just love that. I just love that experience, because when you go into the room, first of all, you can wear whatever you want, and that makes me happy. And I don't have to shave, and that makes me really happy. And then you get into a room, and you just see like these little characters, and they give you the lines that you have to learn. And then have you ever seen the voiceover, or they give you a headset, and then it's not like on Disney shows you like 5 different famous actors who all stand around each other. It's not like that at all. Literally, like, you're in the room by yourself and you voice line for line with nobody else every single line. So you have to act in the moment, and you should just like be so spontaneous, and you just have to, and you're just suddenly somebody else, and you see this little character, and you just, whatever comes out of your mouth, get out of the way, the princess is losing her mind, you know, it's just like, you just see the little character, and you just do the thing. So so therefore, later today, we're gonna do a voiceover exercise with some volunteers. So we'll do that. The other thing that I do, I'm a writer, and the journalism stuff publishing really has diminished greatly, so that work has morphed into writing for these large-scale fundraising events, like these huge fundraising events. And right now, as I speak, I'm writing the Rita Hayworth Alzheimer's Association Gala at the Waldorf Astoria, which is on Tuesday. And so I write for these, you know, all of these events are big scripted events. And while some of you just were honest enough to express how nervous you were just introducing yourselves, these people who speak at these events are scared to death. Scared to death. And you'd think, like, you are a multimillionaire. How could, you know, money doesn't make you more confident or whatever. So what I'm trying to say is the very fears that we have are universal, and doesn't matter, you know, where you are in your walk of life. You know, when I get to these huge, you know, I'm at this event and I wrote the thing, and all I'm really supposed to do is hear them speaking, but I end up coaching them. You know, and these are like big executives, you know, or well-known famous people or whatever. So just know that as fearful as you say that you are, it's really a universal experience. So all we're going to do is sort of rechannel it. So we all survived that part of it. I just want to just check my notes here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is number one on your list, these are the 10 things you need to know about public speaking. At the core of everything is, to really get a sense of balance and compose yourself, is breathing. And most of us don't breathe properly. And that doesn't seem to make any sense because we do it second nature. But in theater, we have to, you know, most theaters, in most theaters are not amplified. Now, the only reason why we wear microphones on stage in a musical sense is because the orchestra is amplified. But it used to be that you get on a stage of a 2,000 seat house and you sing over the 18-piece orchestra that's underneath you. So our bodies are really constructed to really project and fill a room. I know that I can be heard because I'm listening for the bounce back, the echo. You can hear my voice echoing. And so I know that I can be heard in this entire room because I'm really projecting enough to hear the bounce. So what we're going to do today is just sort of really just relearn breathing and the proper breathing so that we don't strain ourselves and that we don't so when you're nervous, your center of energy comes up here. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. And so it's really, your center of energy has literally, your center of gravity has moved up from like down here where it normally is to up here and up here and up here and up here. And what's happening to my breathing? What's happening to my breathing? What's happening to my breathing? It's getting very, very shallow, right? And so like when we're nervous, we're very, very pulled up here. And really to ground ourselves, who does yoga? Who does yoga? It's exactly what we're doing, okay? So you cannot do yoga. The center of everything, or the core of everything, is breathing properly. So when we get into a space, or we're going to do a presentation somewhere, the number one thing we need to do is breathe. Then breathe again, and breathe again, and breathe again. And our center of gravity just sort of lowers, and we get ourselves very, very grounded. So can we all just stand up in our spots and just do this? And you'll be amazed what actually happens to your speaking voice. So who plays a wind instrument or studies? Oh, I love that the people in the back are doing this, thank God. Who has played a wind instrument? Okay, so a wind instrument in Colorado. Was it in Colorado? So the air is very different there. Fascinating. So we're really doing diaphragmatic breathing. So you're going to put your hands right below your rib cage. And we're going to breathe in like we have a balloon. It's really like you have a balloon in front of you. And so you're going to just take a big, deep breath in. And out. Make that sound. Okay, that was terrible. Let's breathe in one more time through your nose. And out on. Not one of you is dropping your jaw. And there's no way to say without dropping your jaw. So I'm going to come into the middle of the room. Just imagine, put one hand here. So what you want to do is, I'm a chubby little Italian man here, but you're really filling up this cavity here. I'm not sticking my belly out. I'm actually like, can you see? I'm like, your diaphragm pulls down like this, and it just fills up the air, and that's why your lungs inflate. And if you see opera singers do it, they can actually make their back inflate as well. It's crazy. Our body is shaped like its own amplification system, okay? So let's just focus here. We're going to put one hand here, put a balloon in front of you, okay? Breathe into that balloon. Land of no judgment, okay? Put a balloon in front of you. Breathe in, and out on. Get out of the doorway. Okay, we're almost there. One more time. Breathe in. And drop your jaw. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Dad? Okay, one more time. Breathe in. Good. Now you breathe in one more time. And we'll do ha, 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 ha. There's no way you can do that without pushing the air out. Why do we want to do this? Why are we getting up and breathing ha? Because if we don't breathe properly, we're like, hey, hey. Now, those of you who are parents already breathe this way. Because when you're a parent, you're like, hey, I want you to blah, 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 and it happens naturally, right? Or if you're a dad and you're calling out, across, to your kid who's playing soccer, or your mom, no, it's very, very easy. We do that naturally. So I'm really just trying to apply the same thing so that you don't strain your voice and you get grounded. So it serves two purposes. Breathing is everything. One more time. And if I saw someone yawning, that's perfect, because late at night, the reason why you yawn is that your lungs aren't getting enough air. So every time we do this exercise, people always yawn because you're really not. We're doing very, very shallow breathing. We live in a world that's like this, and I have to text, and I have to get there, and and instead we just need to. Got it? There's no way to do a presentation unless you breathe. So hands here, imaginary balloon. And it's going to be ha, 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 ha. Ready, and ha, 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 ha. Good, now you're going to do ho. Ready? Like, we're all Santa Claus. Ready? Ready, and ho, 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 ho. Good, and he. He. Good. Now, let's get our jaws involved. Because, we have a tendency to be very tight, we talk, in New England people, they're like, how you doing? Oh, it's good to see you. Yeah, I know. And we tend not to use our jaws, right? So when we say ha, ha, ya, 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 ya is what we're going to do. So ya, 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 ya. Our body is really well constructed to enunciate, pronunciate, and be amplified at the same time. But we have to use what we have, okay? So let's just get used to saying ya, ya. Can you just say ya, 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 ya? Just say it. Yeah, right. Ya, 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 ya. Now let's breathe in and hold the last ya. Ya, 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 ya. Drop your jaw. Land of no judgment. Ya. Justin, I see you laughing. I'm coming to you. Ya. One more time. Breathe in. Ya, 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 ya. Don't give labor now. like, you know, you're like, why would I do this? Or when would I do this? How am I going to do this? My kids are going to make fun of me. My husband's going to make fun of me, blah, 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 blah. Do it in the car on the way to wherever we're going. You want to be vocally warmed. You want to be able to, good, you're young. That's so great. We warm up when we run. We warm up when we do anything. We just don't warm up our voices, okay? So say ma, me, mo, moo. What? Ma, me, mo, moo. Ma, me, mo, moo. So, yeah, very good. Put your hands at your side, okay? Where are your hands going to go? Ta, te, ti, to, tu. La, le, li, lo, lu. Na, ne, ni, no, nu. Zaz with a Z, zaze, zizo, zoo. Right, so we're really using this part of our mouth, the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Say that, the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Look how quiet you all got. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. I want you to put it very forward in your mouth, because what gets in the way now is where we come from in the world. So when every time I do the New York accent, what happens is it's very low in your jaw, and it's like down here, and you're not using your jaw enough, and it's very low and down here. Now, in this part of the country, we tend to be, oh my gosh, we're a little bit in the nasal area. Oh, for sure. And I actually did 2 residencies in Minnesota, and they were like, oh, you betcha, for sure. Oh my gosh, I went to the mall yesterday, and you wouldn't believe the sales. Gosh. And surfer dudes are like, dude, it's way, way, way back in their throat. They're like, dude, how you doing? God, awesome. We're putting it way in the back of our throats. So where we come from tends to get in the way of how we produce sound. So what we really want to do is just put what we're doing, what we're saying, very forward in our mouth. So when you say the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, just try to concentrate on the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Make sense? Land of no judgment. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Good. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. I'll say it first, you repeat it. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Right, so now we're adding vocal variety, right? So that make sure that we use our entire range of our voice. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Justin, I'm so coming for you. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Yeah, good. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Right. So you know that you're saying it wrong. You know you're saying it wrong if it's too low in your mouth and you, oh my gosh. There's really no way to say the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue and be nasal at the same time. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. It's really hard to do, Oh my, oh for sure, oh gosh. I'm really, oh my, I don't know, gosh, I don't know. I can't really do it. I'm trying to, the lips, the teeth, the tip, I can't do it. So you really want to make sure that everything is very, very forward in your mouth. This is great to do while you're driving. So Peter Piper, we know this. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. I love it. Now, the kids that I do work with in Brooklyn, they're like, what? They haven't heard that before. And they're like, Peter Piper what? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Unique New York. You need New York. You know you need. Unique New York. Unique New York. You need New York. You know you need unique New York. So you can't be like lazy about this. You're all laughing. Unique New York. You need New York. You know you need unique New York. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. You're all rock stars, and this is only going to go on for a little bit longer. Gilbert and Sullivan, I am the very model of a modern major general. Okay, if anyone knows that Gilbert and Sullivan Petter song. I am the perfect example. I am the very model of a modern major general. Right, of a major general. Right, so I'm a perfect example of a military guy. I am the very model, of a modern major general. Unique New York. You need New York. You know you need. Unique New York. Peter Piper. Picked a peck. Of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. What? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Red leather. Yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Or something like that. Good. Rubber baby. Buggy bumpers. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Yeah, have a mental image. So the baby is not made of rubber, okay? The buggy bumpers of the carriage, right? So that's the mental image. So you have to know what you're saying, right? So with the kids in Brooklyn, they don't know what a peck is. And I'm like, a peck is like a bushel, and they're like, what's a bushel? So what was I saying? Rubber baby. Buggy bumpers. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. What? Rubber baby.
Buggy bumpers.
Good. Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Give Deborah a round of applause. Peter Piper.
Peter Piper.
Picked a peck.
Picked a peck.
Of pickled peppers.
Pickled peppers.
Say the whole thing.
Yeah,
Peppers.
say it right
You should-
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Close enough. Peter Piper.
Peter Piper.
Picked a peck.
Picked a peck.
Of pickled peppers.
Of pickled peppers.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Dad! Yes. Tell me your name again. Rodney. Thank you, Rodney. Tell me your name again.
Ed.
Ed. One more time. Peter Piper.
Peter Piper
Picked a peck.
picked a peck
Of pickled peppers.
of pickled peppers.
Yeah! Mom, unique New York.
Unique New York.
You need New York.
You need New York.
You know you need.
You know you need.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
All right, good. Joshua, unique New York.
Unique New York.
You need New York.
You need New York.
You know you need.
You know you need.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
Say the whole thing.
You know you need unique New York.
Unique New York. Yeah, I do.
Come on.
I do.
You need New York.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
You need New York.
You need New York.
You know you need unique.
You know you need unique New York.
Joshua, yes. Scott, are you ready? Red leather, yellow leather.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Great. Say it 3 times fast.
Red, yellow, yeah. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
All right, good. I am.
You gotta be messing with us.
I'm messing. Oh my God.
That's why they're videotaping this, because they're going to see how many times they can get people
watch
to do
this. Edit this part. I am the very model.
I am the very model.
Of a modern major general.
Oh my God.
Of a modern
major general.
That's right. I am the very model.
I am the very model.
Don't say am. I am. I am. I am the very model. I am the very model.
I can't.
I can't. Sure you can. I am the very model.
I am the very model.
Perfect. Yes, of a modern major general.
Of a modern major general.
Oh, give her a round of applause. Have a seat. Have a seat. You really can do these warm-ups. Like, they're not impossible to do. Okay. So I'm going to look for. I'll do this. I'll do it this way first. I want to make sure we get through all of these items. Let's talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll do the first 5 here. So breathe and breathe again. You understand we just did it, right? We understand that we need to absolutely concentrate on our breathing. And if you do the deeper breathing, if you really do, I just did it myself, diaphragmatic breathing, if you just find a quiet moment, really breathe. This is before any presentation, anything really. I mean, if you're talking, even if you're talking to a client, and you know, just breathing is absolutely everything. Make sure you get centered and you are conscious of your breathing. The other thing I just want to just jump, what's really related to that, is number 4: acknowledge your fear and turn energy into turn the energy. We really freak ourselves out by our own fear. Tell me your name again.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, Bernadette.
Bernadette. So Bernadette just did it for us, and you were terrific. But the minute like I came towards her, she you get right up here, and then it all goes out the window. So the minute you just sort of compose and breathe, and you breathe deeply, that's great. Okay. Also, we need to just simply. What's the best thing about facing your fear is acknowledging it, and then letting it go. So. We freak ourselves out because our palms tend to sweat or whatever our natural response when we're in a fearful situation. And then you freak out over the fact that that's happening. I'm so nervous, oh my God, my palms are sweating, my palms are sweating, my palms are sweating, my palms are sweating. And then that just pushes it, we amplify and we amplify and we amplify it, right? So I know this sounds crazy, but whatever your natural response to fear is, if you can just say, oh wow, look, I'm so nervous that my palms are sweating. It's done. It gives it no more attention. And then just change the word nervous to excited. Right? Just change the word. We have to change the thinking in our head. And we're like, oh my God, I'm so excited that my palms are sweating. And I know it sounds nuts, but the truth is that fear, the only thing to fear is fear itself. And it's all in your head, which is truly the worst place that it could possibly be. Because the only person who can access that is you. I can talk and talk and talk and talk, or you can have a friend or a loved one say, what are you talking about? It's all in your head. That's not helpful, because it is all in your head, right? Makes sense? So what I'm saying is, face it, acknowledge it, and there it is. Oh, good, my palms are sweating. Wow, I think I'll breathe more. So what are you going to do about it? The answer is, so what are you going to do about it? I'll prepare more, I'll do this more, I'll do that more. And the more you do it, the less it happens. You know, I have performed in a lot of shows. I still get nervous beforehand, but I'm like, I get nervous and then I get excited over the fact that I'm nervous. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but I love having that adrenaline rush. You know what I mean? That's all it is, right? So we're trying something new and we're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, and our body is responding accordingly. And if you can accept that, then we can move on. So number 1 and number 4 are the same thing. And therefore, you breathe through it, right? I would assume that any major, this is a room of accomplished people. You have all accomplished something very significant. And so whatever it is that got you over that hurdle, you took a deep breath and you pressed on regardless, right? It's the same thing. All right. So number 2, be prepared, really prepared. One of the ways to sort of get beyond our fear about a situation is to prepare really well. If you're one of those people who's like, I don't know, let's see what happens, I'll just wing it, that's a big mistake, especially if it's a new situation. So what you want to do, even before I started today, okay, I wanted to see this space. I wanted to know where I was. I wanted to find out a little bit more about you, and what's this all about? What do you need out of this experience? And I did write down I wrote a whole bunch of notes. I think I've referred to them once, right? The more prepared you are for the situation, the more you're sort of going to lessen the fear, okay? Now, I know this sounds weird. In the preparation process, you can write the whole thing out, but then try to reduce, if you're going to do a presentation, try to reduce it just to bullet points. Because what you don't want is this. This is very disengaging, and the reason why we know what you're saying is important is because you've taken the notes away and you create eye contact, right? So the less that we are in the paper, and the more we are person to person and getting excited about that which we are talking, the more compelling and immediate what you have to say is. Because what we're really trying to do, just like in the theatrical situation, is evoke an emotional response to your audience or the people that we're speaking to. They want to see that you care so that they can care. Make sense? Everyone understand that? They're not going to begin to care if you diminish your truth. And so when I say what acting is, it's passionately speaking their truth, right? You're entering into something, and It's not about, the big answer is, the big secret to today is that it's not about you. In public speaking, it's not about you. It's what you have to say. It's about the message. It's about the importance of why you're there or the meeting. It's not about you. That's why actors are so good and such train wrecks, some people are, can't handle real life, is because it's not about them. What they've been doing is they're excelling at the message, whether it's a pre-written message or what they have to say. And when you think about it, your days of talking about something you know nothing about are behind you. Like when you were forced to do a social studies presentation in 6th grade and learn about the Ming Dynasty or the Mayans, that was something that was imposed on you. But almost always from this point on, you're going to be talking to people or addressing a group about something that you care about. Make sense? So that takes the fear out of the situation because you're going to make it about it and not about you. So therefore, that's number 5, change your mind about you. We'll get to that in just a second. That's part of that. So you're going to create bullet points rather than fully written notes if you can. Maybe in the beginning you might have to use, but bullet points, even if you're going to write something out, find moments where you can look away from the paper and speak just like I'm speaking, directly to people. And I'll give you hints in just a moment about how to do that. I can't make eye contact with them. How can I do that? Can I do that? I'll give you hints later about how to speak to a group of people without actually looking at anybody. Okay? People who wear contact lenses love this because they're like, I just take my contacts out and I'm great, Rehearse with a trusted loved one. And you see I underline the word trusted? Sometimes your spouse or significant other is not your trusted loved one. So if you live or work with somebody, if you're somebody who you live with and they are very critical, with the best intentions they are critical, and you are rehearsing your speech with them or your presentation with them, and they unnerve you or they make your palms sweat, that's not the right person, right? I learned to drive with my brother because my first time out driving with my dad, he was so nervous as my driving instructor that I fired him on the first day. I'm like, I can't drive with you, you're scaring the out of me. So my brother did it, okay? So you find the trusted loved one that you can feel comfortable and rehearse your speech with. It's important to find dogs and cats are wonderful, but it's hard to maintain eye contact with them. Some people are like, oh, I rehearse with my dog. And I'm like, the dog just wants food. That is not, you want to be able to evoke an emotional response out of a person, okay? So practice with a loved one or two or whatever, okay? Allow yourself to improvise at certain points and sections. Find moments to sort of look away from the page and don't wing it. Don't sort of be like, oh, yeah, I'm a spontaneous kind of guy, and that is not going to be helpful. So my friend Michael says, using notes kills eye contact. Get rid of them as much as possible. Don't hide them. Use bullet points if you must, short ones that you don't have to read from the page. Either human nature and 11th out of motivation. Good preparation makes notes unnecessary for most oral communication. I agree. And then number 3, though I am contradicting myself, then stop preparing so much. Once you feel prepared, stop. Because what happens is when you're over-prepared, you have now done everything. And you come up, and you get your paper, and suddenly you are speaking in a voice that is unlike any other person you have ever heard in your life. And sometimes you are talking and you're thinking, who the hell is talking right now? Right? That's what happens, right? Because we are so over-prepared and we want it to go so well that we have done everything that we can to constrict our bodies. And this does not make us open to the moment. We actually physicalize everything that we're feeling, and then we're this. And we have prepared so hard that we are so tightly wound, right? And it's never going to go over in the way that you want. And when you do the land of no judgment, it also applies to you, right? You need to stay open to yes and. A lot of times when we over-prepare, the first thing that happens that trips us up is the thing that tanks us. So you're prepared and you're so tightly wound, the person says, oh, I just have to tell you one thing, the microphone doesn't work. Or I just have to tell you one thing, this table is, or we have 10 more people here today. Or and then you're just like, what? So if you just sort of, if your preparation is open to the several possibilities, right? If you use yes and with yourself, then you can feel that way with the group. Make sense? Everyone got that? So that's 1, 2, 3. 4, acknowledge your fear. And this is really, really big. Change your mind about you. Do not negate your presentation before you start. How many times have we showed up for something and the first thing the person says is, I'm trying not to take too much of your time. This really isn't going to last very long. Oh, I really don't have a lot of experience doing this. Right? And so if someone says to you, I'll try really hard to not take up too much of your time, the first thing you think of, oh my God, this is going to go on forever. Right? I am a director in New York City, right? And so there's a lot of actors who come in, and the whole theater experience and what you see on television is nothing like that. We don't sit in the darkened theater in the back and they go, next please, and this person comes out with one stage light on, and Glee and every TV show, Smash, and everything that you see in film, not like that at all. It is in a room somewhere and people have waited hours upon hours upon hours to be seen, and they have like 90 seconds, 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes tops, not even 3 minutes, that's too long. If you sing 18 bars, which is like happy birthday, okay? That's about the length of happy birthday. And if you're going to do a monologue, it's 90 seconds, a minute and a half or whatever. And so you need to capture that moment and make it. There are other 200 people. I see 200 people in one day sometimes. Anywhere between 100, even for Bristol Valley Theater. 100. John, did you come one year? Yeah, you were there, right? And it is not, people are like, oh, I want to see this, I want to see this. And then they sit there and they're like, I can't take this anymore. This is making me so nervous. I'm so nervous for them. You end up feeling so sorry for them. It's such a hard thing. So even with young people in particular, who haven't done this too much, they've been waiting and waiting and waiting. They get in the room and they're like, hi, how are you doing? I'll try to make this really quick. Why? You waited 2 hours to have this 90 seconds to be in this room. Do not diminish yourself. And a lot of times, a lot of younger people shoot themselves in the foot and they do the entire monologue to the wall. I hate this job. All I've ever had, I hate this job. I write my own monologue. I am an ass indeed. You may prove it by my long ears. I have served this master from the hour of my nativity to this instant, and I have nothing from his hands but a service but blows. So I'm doing Shakespeare to a wall, right? So don't ever diminish your own moment. Seize the moment and make the message be about you. So in other words, the message is about you, the moment is not about you. Okay? Make sense? So passionately, you're going to be practical. What do I have? Number 10, I'm like, you're passionate. Practical, personal, and passionate. That's what we're working towards, right? Practical information. Like, what am I going to take out of this? What's it to me? And where I come from, they're like, so what's this all about? What's this to me? I love being in Brooklyn because they're so bottom line, So what does that mean for me? What's it to me? What do I need to know? Just tell me. So keep it practical. Don't use too many words, too highfalutin words. Personal, get passionate about it. What's the other one? Practical, personal, and passionate. Right, okay. And then, of course, the way to guarantee, this is back to number 5, that you will not succeed at the task at hand is to repeatedly say, I'm never going to be able to do this. That is the absolute way that you are going to make sure that you won't be able to do it in the way that you want to. I'm really no good at this. Oh, that's another big thing, People get up and they're like, oh, I really am not very good at this, but, So you've just lowered the bar for yourself. You don't have to be like, I'm great at this. I love this. You don't have to say anything. You just don't put anything before you that's going to invalidate your message, because it's about your message and not you. Make sense? Good, cool. So let's just hold on to that for just a second. Oh, we're getting very close to a break. Okay. Before the break, I'm going to tell you a story, and then after the break, I'm going to look for 3 volunteers to help me in this, okay? So I'm going to tell you a story. And this is a story about how I accidentally locked my grandmother, my 80-something-year-old grandmother, back in the 80s, in my car. Okay? And you're going to tell me at the end of it whether it's true or false. Okay? Got it? So I live in Brooklyn, and my grandmother lived in Staten Island, one of the other boroughs. And my parents lived out on Long Island. So all I was supposed to do was to pick up my grandmother from Staten Island, because I'm going to Brooklyn from Staten Island, and then bring her out to Long Island because she was going to stay 2 weeks with my mom. So my grandmother was 4'9" or whatever, and she was always cold. She was eternally cold. Grandma, how are you? I'm a little under the weather. She never felt good. So she had 3 sweaters on and 2 coats. It was winter time. And I bundled her into the car and put the seatbelt on. So this was a Plymouth Horizon, or I think it was at the time, the car. And so there was those child safety things. So she's very tiny and she's very forward in the car. And the door thing is behind her. Got it? So 3 sweaters, 2 coats. Lock her in. I get in the car, and we're driving. We have to go through Brooklyn in order to go to Staten Island. So I'm like, Grandma, I just got to stop at this gas station. My car had a tendency to overheat, and I wanted to be preventative. So I had to put water in the radiator. Okay? But she's always cold, and the heat was on. So I got out of the car, and I was like, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to get some gas. I didn't want to tell her I want to put water in the radiator in the event that we overheat. I don't want to say anything like that. So I said, Grandma, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to leave the car running. I'm just going to put gas in the car. And I got out, and I said, I'm going to leave the car running. Because I got out, I closed the door, and I saw the little child safety knob thing go down. And I thought, oh my God, I just locked my 80-something-year-old grandmother running in a car in the middle of Brooklyn in a gas station. If I panic, then she'll panic, and this is not a good situation, and we just started this trip. So I went up to the station, to the guy in the booth, and I said, look, I know you're going to think that I'm really, really crazy, but that is my grandmother in the car, and I accidentally just locked her in the car. And he's like, that's your grandmother, man? She's so cute. And I'm like, I know she's cute. The thing is that I'm going to pop, I had already popped the hood before I got out of the car. And I said, I'm going to lift up the hood so that she can't see, and then you're going to take that bottle of water, you're going to fill up that bottle. It was like an antifreeze bottle. You're going to fill up that with water, and you're going to keep putting water into the radiator and wave to her. While I go over there to that payphone in 1980s, before cell phones, and I'm going to call the police, okay? And I just want you to distract her and wait, your grandmother, oh my God, she's so cute. My abuela, I'm like, I know she's cute. So can you just keep doing that while I go over there and call the cops? And he's like, yeah, no problem. So he goes over there and he fills up, he's in his thing, and he fills up with water, and he walks out there and he waves and she waves back, and I walk over to the payphone because she can't see because the car hood is up, right? And I'm on the phone and I'm like, and they're like, 911, mate, what's your emergency? And I'm like, look, I know that you're not going to think this is an emergency, but it's an emergency to me. I have just locked my grandmother in my car, running in a gas station in Brooklyn. And what I need you to do is send a cop over here with one of those Slim Jims. We can pop the lock and then just be on our way. And it's going to take 2 seconds. What borough are you in? I'm in Brooklyn. I'm in Brooklyn at the station here, and blah, 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 blah. And I just need you to send a cop over here and get a Slim Jim. I'm like, hold on, what's your emergency? I'm like, oh. So I repeated the situation 3 times. And while I'm on the phone, I saw the guy. The attendant was great. He literally was on his second round. He was waving and she was waving. And I'm like, I saw a cop car pulling up, and so I needed to get their attention. So I looked, and I thought my grandma wasn't looking, so I just dropped the phone, it's a pay phone, and ran over to this cop car, and I was like this. And the window comes down. So it's New York City Police Department. So the window comes down, they're like, yeah. And I said, look, there's 2 big burly guys, like, state troopers. And I said, look, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but that is my 86-year-old grandmother in the car right now, and I've accidentally locked her in there. And I know this doesn't seem like an emergency, but it's really, really an emergency. And I know you have one of those Slim Jims in there, and what I want you to do, with the metal. We all know what that is, right? Metal. And I need you to just get out of the car and come around with me and pop the lock. And could you do that for me? And they're like, Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that's great. So what we got to do though is she's going to see you, and then she's going to panic because I now have gotten policemen. So what you got to do is tiptoe with me behind the car, and then reach around and pop the lock that way. I know it sounds crazy. Can you do that? All right. So the two guys get out of the car, and I swear there's the three of us like this with the Slim Jim. We're all like this, and they reach behind and like. And then they pop the hood, and the other guy is like, your grandmother's so cute, man. I'm like, I know, she's cute. He did say it 3 times, okay? So pop the lock, and the cops were like, you done? And they go off, and the door opens, and I had the heat running the entire time, and a fireball of heat comes out, and I'm like, Grandma, how you doing? She's like, it's getting hot in here. I'm like, I know, it took so long to fill the gas, but we're ready to go, and we're on our way. Are we okay? We're great. You're okay? Yeah, she's great. And I was off on my way. And we got there, that whole thing took about maybe 7 minutes. Okay, all of that happened in about 7 minutes time. And we safely got there, and I walked in the house with my grandmother. My mother's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, get in the living room, get in the living room. We're going to talk about, tell you the story. And she was cracking up, and she thought it was really funny. I'm like, it's not funny. And so that's my story, okay? And now you're going to decide, you're going to tell me right now whether you thought that story was true or false, okay? So how many people in this room, the jury in the back as well, felt that my story was false? Wow! And how have you found this story true? So my Brooklyn buddy over here, you actually thought it was false, huh?
Believe in the car running when you keep pumping gas. I hope it was false.
Because that was a bad idea, right?
In the 80s it was allowed.
Those of you who thought it was true, tell me why you thought it was true.
I guess just I didn't really see you like stopping to think about facts, remembering. You just were really focused. I mean, saying abuela, it just seemed like you remembered a lot. And I think that'd be hard. I guess you would have had to really, really practice.
I would have had to have practiced number 3 or 2 or whatever. Get be prepared. But yeah, okay, that's true. Yes. What else? Why was it true? People who thought it was true. Yes.
Because the way you told it, I could actually envision all of it happening.
I recreated you saw me in recreating the moment. Back here, who thought it was true? Yes.
Very detailed.
I paid attention to detail. If it was false, why was it false? Yes. Oh, Joshua.
Adding water to the radiator while the car is running. It's a
bad idea, right?
System.
Really?
And I didn't think you were that specific
about that part of it.
Well, your grandmother, you said 80-something-year-old.
I did say that.
Know how old your grandmother?
I did. I think she was 86. Yeah.
Later on in the story.
Yes. Yes. I changed my facts, and I did catch myself when I was doing that. Yes, Joseph.
Police procedure as far as slim jimming into a vehicle which has an old woman sitting in there.
This is
right.
the 80s.
Implausible.
80s, trust me.
Interesting. Well, I did want to say New York City. That's all I want to say. Next.
Did child safety locks exist in the 80s?
Good. Yes, they did. The answer to that is yes. But that's a good question. So what we're doing here is, yes, you want to say something?
Oh, I thought it's kind of unlikely that a cop would show up exactly when you needed him.
The very last thing that I want to, I left one little part out of my story. The very last thing I remember when I pulled out of the gas station was seeing the payphone swinging. And my story is 100% true. And I love what you had to say. And because the minute I said, and you're going to tell me whether it's true or false, what you did was pay attention to the details. And the expression is the devil's in the details. Well, I was just passionately recreating the moment. And every time I tell this story, I'm recalling this story. It was it's hilarious, but it was also potentially horrifying, right? And I had to make some really, really quick decisions. And every time I tell the story, I relive the story. And so what it is a story about me, but it's a story that I'm stepping into that moment. I'm recalling that moment and passionately telling my truth, right? So that's really what you're doing when you're doing a presentation, is you're stepping into the truth of the matter. And the minute I don't remember now how old she was. And the minute I corrected myself age-wise, I thought, oh, you just blew it. Because I know that if I say in advance, sometimes I tell the story and then I say, now you tell me whether that's true or false. And people are like, whoa. But I thought, well, with your group, I want to say, I'm going to tell you a story and then you're going to tell me whether it's true or false. So to lock you into the details. Right? So what you want to do is be personal and specific enough about the details so that they're pulled into whatever you have to say, right? That's what we're going to do. So we're going to take a 10-minute break now. 10 minutes good, right? Back there? That's good. 10-minute break. And I'm going to look for 3 volunteers to tell a story really brief. And then we're going to guess whether that story is true or false. Okay? So after the break, I'll look for 3 really brave people to come up here and just quickly tell a story. Okay? So 10 minutes. And thank you, by the way, for your willingness in the first half.